Go get the giggles out. So, speaking of the giggles,
I've been happy all day.
Like, she's been very happy.
I've been like very.
That's good.
So now I have to like settle down.
Settle down and bring it on in, right?
Yeah.
So there's a deity known as Eshu, right? Or Orisa, excuse me, known as Eshu. And
right.
we know that Eshu, he brings a lot of laughter. You have to laugh, you know.
Baba laugh, yeah.
A great Prince of Peace, but also he is somewhat of like the police officer for the Orishas. He deals with justice and also pathways, you know. And so, you know, dealing with Eshu, you must always appease him, you know, be respectful to Eshu. So that way you receive and reap the benefits and the blessings, and you don't see the other side, you know, because Eshu has two sides, and you don't want many sides actually, but you know, you don't want to be
the malevolent side. We want to be on the side of E-Ray and blessings, and so we are always perpetuating Eshu, giving honor and thanks, whether or not it's with OT or, you know, with candy or, you know, toys or whatever it is. And most importantly, it's with our prayers and our intentions and our carving out that time to, you know, go to the keeper of the crossroads and solidifying our relationship. Because as Baba said, as he presents those petitions back and forth, as he is the messenger for us, we want to be on the sweet side.
That's right. Asha. And so, so that's why she's so happy. You know, so Eshu, that's you know, his energy is around. Actually, today is an Ifa day, which means also Eshu day as well. So, we will start by talking about
Ifa day. What Ifa? What's Ifa?
All right, so we'll talk about like what is Ifa. So
I know Monday,
Ifa,
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Yeah, we're not even gonna get into all of that, the days and stuff like that. But what we will do, because today is an Ifa day, Oshe Ifa, we will talk about what Ifa is. And so Ifa breaks down to many different things. Ifa is the system that we use in regards to finding the messages that Ifa is telling us.
Right.
Ifa is also regarded as the Orisha of wisdom. His human form, people know him as Orunmila. So there are many stories of Orunmila here on earth as a divine. So Ifa, chanting, absolutely, that's right. Ifa, that's right. The chanting, invocation, things of that nature.
Part of the divination
process. That is Ifa, you know. And so, as Ifa priests, we honor Ifa every Ifa day, which is every first and fifth day. And so,
that's a good way of saying it, actually, Mama. Not to cut you off, but in my mind, I'm always like every fourth day. But if you think about it, like in a cycle, it's every first and fifth
day. Exactly. Because it just goes back on. And so today being an Ifa day, we wanted to talk a little bit about who Ifa is and Orunmila and his powerful wisdom. I would like to start by doing a small invocation. Ori, I would like to honor Ori because we know that our Ori, which is our head, but also our spirit and our soul. You know? So the Ori breaks down. That's a whole nother video.
We'll definitely get to that. That's important.
Just know that the Ori is your
head, your mind, body,
to the spirit world. So like your Ori won't allow you and will allow you to do certain things. And so, you know, we honor the head so that the head makes good decisions. Right? So, hello. Alolo oni, ati waye igun, ati orun akala, ojuro ogun toki, difa fun olomi tutu, ti ise eya abaniwegun, Orunmila ni odi ike iku, mo ni eriwo ife, eridi aloko ni fi olomi tutu fun ikupa, Ore Mati Dimole. Ashe. Ashe. So, that was a chant to the Ori. This is a chant that my wife and I, we do every morning. Together, sometimes we have to do it separately.
Sometimes you gotta run.
Because we gotta run, we gotta move, and sometimes she's on the move, I'm on the move. So, being able to connect with your Ori and understand how your Ori is your connection or your receptor.
And how it guides you.
How it guides you in the decision making.
Yeah, and then as a couple, it's important for us to be able to do that together. Because it brings that synergistic energy together, which we were talking about earlier, how as a family we're gelling so well, but it's because our Oris are in line and we're all in acceptance of that.
Ashe. And so, like the EI was saying, we have to be able to do it collectively. Well, she talked about the importance of the collective prayer.
Yes.
Being able to do it individually is important, but the collective prayer adds more power to it. Because the power of two Oris is definitely stronger than one Ori. And so when we bring these two Oris together, we're creating a common bond, a common collective, and we are honoring both Oris as we both make decisions as husband and wife, as father and mother, as priest and priestess. So we are very aware of that, so we honor the Ori to start.
Ashe.
Ashe. So, we would like to...
Who are you? Introduce yourself. We've only been talking for like 8 minutes.
All right.
Nobody knows who we are.
Okay, so, I am Awo, again, Ifasha J, Ifasha Gun, Oshe.
How'd you get on this path? Awo, Ifasha J.
So, I started this path about 13 years ago. Let's start when I started working at the school called Roots Activity Learning Center. It's here in the DC area. It's an African-centered school, and so you have a lot of different types of folks who are conscious there, who are doing different types of studies, whether you're a Rasta, whether you are Muslim, whether, just different types of backgrounds and traditions. But there are a lot of folks who involve their students in African-centered schools who practice African religions and traditions. And so we had this one mama who was the mother of a child at our school who had passed away. And Mama Rabia, that was her name. And I didn't know that she practiced African traditions. But what I wind up doing is going to her wake, her
homegoing ceremony.
Her homegoing ceremony, right? And everyone was dressed in white, and it absolutely blew me off. It was
powerful to see.
It was very powerful to see someone who's used to seeing people dressed in black during funerals. So to be able to witness the community coming out and rejoicing and singing praises, to the deities in that manner, it really captivated me.
Indeed.
And so there was a service by the community for her that I went to, and there were two priests who were singing to the Egungun, which are the ancestors, venerated ancestors, the Egungun, and they were singing for her. And it was amazing to be able to hear that song because it resonated with my soul.
Do you remember which song it was? Was it Wole Wole?
It was, no. It was, Fele gun ojare, Fele gun baba iwun, Fele gun ojare, Fele gun odunbade ma ke badani, Fele odunbade ma ke roniyo, Fele gun. And so that song resonated with my soul, and I knew that I had to find out more about the ancestors and the culture and practicing the culture. And so at the time I was Muslim, but it didn't resonate with me. Sometimes singing the prayers,
the various
aspects of it, but it didn't completely resonate with my soul. And so I started attending this temple. At the time I lived in Baltimore, as well as my children's lineage is Yoruba, So their grandfather actually lives in Nigeria. He's Yoruba. Their mother is of Yoruba lineage, and so
you were looking for
something to connect with their ancestors, so that way I could teach the tradition to them, and they would be able to connect with it, and it'd be something that their ancestors practiced for thousands of generations. You know, to be able to bring it back for them. You know? And it's interesting, yeah, because we talked about like curses, right? And you know, when we think about like generational curses, things that we try to break or bring about, you know, I felt like I wanted to go back to the traditional way of African folks, so that way I could connect it to my children, and my children can see how their ancestors practiced back in the day. So it was something powerful for me. And after years and years and being in the temple and then leaving the temple and, you know, getting initiated, you know, there was a lot of different things, different obstacles on my path, but blessings, many blessings on my path. So I'm very thankful, you know, to be able to sing songs to the Orishas and know the songs, you know. And so, yes, that's how I got my start, and I'm thankful for it. So
I'm thankful for it too.
Yeah,
because now I am blessed enough to be able to meet and to study with and to pray with and build with.
Absolutely.
You, Iawo.
Ashe. And this Iawo
Or Awo.
was able to take me even further into my studies of Ifa. You know.
Oh, yeah?
Oh yeah.
How so? Please do tell.
So it's well, one, when we started talking, I was studying Ifa through the lens, I guess, the African American lens, you know, because my teacher, you know, he got his studies in Oyotunji.
Oh, I thought it was Ile Ife.
Well, in Ile Ife, that's where he went afterwards, but he started in Oyotunji, which is in South Carolina in America, which a lot of folks' lineage in this tradition in the Americas come from. Right. So my queen, the Ian right here, the beautiful Ian right here, she was coming from a Lukumi background, and so like her although we were both, you know, honoring the Orishas and honoring Ifa in our way, you know, we weren't completely synced up, because the way that they do things in Lukumi is quite different than the way they do things in Ishishe, whether it be here in the Americas or whether it be in Africa.
Right.
So, and even those two are different. So, yeah, tell us a little bit
about myself?
Yourself, as well as, you know, your Lukumi background. How did that get going? And I think I might actually have to go grab the charger. I think my laptop is about to die, but...
well, while you do that, I'll do my introduction, and then we'll line up and charge up right there.
Absolutely.
All right. So, as I introduced myself to you all, my name is Ifayemi Yemojabemi O'Shea, which is our family last name within the culture. Excuse me. I've been a little bit under the weather lately, but, you know, all praises to Olodumare for miraculous healing within the culture. However, as I was saying, the concept of African spirituality is nothing new to me. I actually was raised in the African Methodist Church, the Ami Zion Church. So, as being an Ami Zionite, the whole concept, you okay, Bubba?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Of, you know, African tradition is definitely nothing new. My grandfather James and his twin brother John were priests inside of the church, and so for me, I've always sort of had the aspiration to be connected. Baba, do you think you can just retouch it?
Yeah.
To be connected in the church in a very intentional manner. Growing up, it was originally I wanted to be, you know, the first lady of the church. I was always enamored by the first lady and her roles and her duties, not only as she supported Vanny Adipwe, the head pastor, or the Baba of the church, the king of the church. But just all her many roles, not only performing or sharing amazing sermons, but then being able to go back to the nursery and the kitchen, and just to make sure that all of the functions of the church ran. I remember growing up watching my first lady at the time, Miss Cherry, Pastor Cherry, and I was just totally in awe, by her Baba. And so sort of that's where my foundation started as a little girl, probably like 5 years old. I was like, that I want to be in the church. I want to be within the system. I think one of the things that's also been very powerful for me is just also knowing my Native American ancestry and roots. My aunt had shared with me many years ago about our Native background, our indigenous background, and how we were members of the Blackfoot tribe, and then certain things just became part of sort of the customs and my life, things like going into the woods, spending time by the stream, communing with nature.
Right.
I don't know, obviously, I'm smiling now, but those are the things that have really touched me along the way. And then a couple of years ago, for my birthday, Oshundoyin, my middle daughter, had gifted me an ancestry DNA background for my birthday. And, so it came in the mail. We do like almost everybody in the United States are doing right now. You swab your cheek and you send it off, and you wait in anticipation with this question in your heart, like, who am I? Let's really, really break it down. And it's interesting because all of the things that I knew from our family lineage and, family conversations, and then some of the things that I sort of innately felt were confirmed via the Ancestry.com DNA swab, such as our lineage going back to Yoruba land, such as our lineage going back to Benin. And for me, it sort of filled the gap. And it made Yoruba tradition and Isheshe, and it solidified it within my soul. Why I had been longing for, the answers that would just, appease my soul, that longing that I had. As you said, when we met, I was practicing Century Olukame, and I had started, researching and the Orisa probably when Oyadupoy was 2 years old, and she's 16 now. Yeah, she was a little girl, and now she's a tall one. So, but yeah, so I, as you, have been on, my path with the Orisa for, 13, somewhere around there.
We're old in this tradition. Well, let me not say that.
We're still new.
Babies in this
we
tradition.
really are, guys.
We
like
are babies in this tradition.
We really
so,
are.
Like when you hear people say, "I have 10 years, 20 years, 30
that
years,"
they
in
have
tradition,
touched the surface.
The surface.
Yes.
This is a tradition that you constantly live out.
Yes.
It's a tradition that goes with you throughout your life, and even after your life. And so. That's the beauty of this tradition, and to be able to come in contact with this culture is a blessing for anybody. To be able to have. So I think that for my wife and I, we've been able to reap not all of it.
We're still learning. Yeah,
yes,
we're still learning.
We've been reaping blessings though.
Blessings on blessings.
Blessings on blessings. From this tradition.
Indeed.
And so we're very thankful. We're very thankful to be here with you. To be able to talk to you. Hopefully you'll you'll subscribe, and you'll also leave some questions that you might have, whether about our practice and what we do, whether you have questions about the Orishas, about Ishishe, about Ifa.
And our intentions are to be able to come to you, authentically and share of ourselves and of our culture and of Ishishe. And I think also the various paths and avenues that would lead one to discovering or asking more questions in regards to that. So we really want to make this a laid back, informal, approachable forum where we could all be able to just build on our knowledge of not only Ifa, but
our
the
ancestors,
relationships and culture.
Yeah, culture. See, I feel like a lot of times folks who just get into this tradition really don't have a start. They don't really know where to start, how to begin, what to do. And so it's important to lean on elders or folks who are practicing the tradition in order to find out how could you learn more. In this tradition, one, we are not folks who get bullhorns and Ifa,
No, not evangelical.
We're not right. We're not evangelists, But what we do is we definitely share for those who listen, and also for those who are interested. We definitely share because this tradition is about character. We're really big on character, so.
It's living the culture every single day. Every single day. When people ask, what religion do you practice? What is it that you do? It's just about what we do every single day. It's the character that we embody when we go to work, even when we're exhausted, and we, work with children, even though, our children at home might be sick. It's the character that we, express when we encounter social justice or issues within our relationships, within the home or outside of the home. And so these are ways, tangible ways, not a walk by faith, culture or tradition. These are tangible ways that we receive the blessings and the insight and the richness of the tradition that we need on a daily basis to be able to maintain for our culture.
And I would say for anyone who's interested in really learning more about the culture, get a reading done. So you want to get a reading from a reputable Babalawo, or Yemifa, who's in the culture, who studies, who's probably have folks who they've worked with, who they've helped initiate, who's in Oluwo. So you want to find out a little bit more about your path, So I would say that would be definitely one of the starts as you're trying to get into this, but also learning more. That's something that you don't have to
your own
find
foundation
somebody,
of knowledge.
right? Develop your own foundation of knowledge.
Yeah, because it's the tradition, and I hesitate to say the religion because it's not really. The culture really is a personal one. You know what I'm saying? It's not so much that you are relegated to church on Sunday, Bible study Wednesday, the temple, the mosque. It's in your heart, it's in your ritual, it's in your home. So the more that you can learn as to how to incorporate the richness of the culture of the Isheshe into every move that you make, the more that you begin to embody the richness of the culture. You will be more infused and powered up with the energy of the Orishas, with the insight from the ancestors, with the peace and balance from your Ori.
And if I could add to what Iya just said,
you can add, but
thank you. It's a very personal, but as well as very collective tradition. So there's a balance within it. There's a very personal side to it, and there's a big collective side to it, where you don't want to just practice by yourself. You want to have a community that you work with, so that way you know what you're doing is, of character and of substance. And so, but it's also very personal because you have a lot of the things in your home that you work with and you go to, so it could be a little bit of both, and so, but one, it starts with you developing a strong relationship with your ancestors, and so the Egungun.
Ego.
That's right.
Were we recording during that song earlier?
I believe so.
Awesome.
And so a lot of that is research that you do with your family. So, you know, you want to go to your mom, your grandmom, you want to go to your mom, your grandmom, and
get the stories. Write it down now. Don't wait till folks are, dead and gone to wonder about the recipe, to wonder about the family lineage, to wonder where do our folks come from. Don't wait. Go ahead and get those stories, because that's where the energy comes from, and that's how we pass it on, right, Baba?
Benny, you're right.
Call them up.
Call them up.
Great grandma.
And that's how you get it going, because that's something real to you.
Benny.
You've been raised by these folks, and so, your blood.
And they still walk with you.
You still walk with you.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and to honor their mothers and grandmothers and great-grandmothers should make them feel a certain way, like, wow, you want to know these stories. A lot of times, our children these days don't really want to know the stories of the past, because they're so caught up in
the here and
present.
now, right?
And so,
right. The video games.
It's important that we do that. Exactly, we have to do that, because knowing the past helps you with your future. And so, learning the stories of your ancestors will help support you in your movements in the now.
Ashe.
So, is there anything else, you think we need to touch on?
Bob, I think that we have a nice little introduction.
I totally agree.
Well, if you guys think that there's something else that you would like for us to touch on, as Baba said, go ahead and subscribe below. And leave a comment in the space, and we will read and record accordingly.
So we want to say adupwe, which means thank you, and odabo,
which means
goodbye. Odabo.